It is Africa's treasured daughter, Angelique Kidjo, coming through with Agolo, a song that needs absolutely no introduction. I think, if you're African, no matter which country you're from, you definitely know Angelique Kidjo, and you are obviously well versed with Agolo. That is how we open up and kickstart the second hour of the show this afternoon. It is a beautiful Monday in Johannesburg, and hope that you are having a great Monday where you are as well. By the way, yes, I did see some of your WhatsApp messages earlier on, particularly about that Kelly Khumalo situation that unfolded over the weekend. And I wonder if, just putting a thought out there, if perhaps someone said, and I think it was one of my producers who said that perhaps maybe if we scrutinize it a little bit more, there could be some human bias that is leveled against her from all ends. And I guess there's always that element, right? There's always that element, no matter how sort of vigorous, authentic, credible. There's always the human element in things. So one of my producers just threw that out there to be like, maybe there's a human bias that as a collective we are now leveling against her because of everything that's unfolding with the Senzo Mayiwa case. And I don't know. It's out there for you to weigh in on 0614104107. Right now we are going to be talking around this interesting chatbot, which is a coach Vici. It's locally created. It's a cutting-edge software application, Coach Vici, that is said to be revolutionizing the world of coaching, assisting thousands of employees at the same time. And we are going to be joined by Dr. Nikki Terreblanche, who's the developer of Coach Vici and senior lecturer at leadership coaching at Stellenbosch Business School. How are you doing this afternoon?
Good afternoon, Bridget. I'm well, thanks. And you?
I'm fantastic. Cannot complain at all. We've been talking a lot about the world of chatbots these days and how innovative they all are. Perhaps maybe clue us in as to why develop a life coaching, can I call it life coaching chatbot?
We could start there, yes. Yes, Bridget. Yeah, well, just a bit of background about myself. I was actually originally a software engineer. I studied electronic engineering, but then I moved over to, as we call it, life coaching or organizational coaching later on. And it's so powerful, I realized through my own coaching practice that it has the ability to really transform people's lives. Because in a sense, it's a form of applied psychology. So it helps people, normal functioning people, to become better versions of themselves. But the problem is that it's quite expensive and it's not readily available. So I then sat back one day and thought about 5 years ago, what if I can bring some of this coaching to everybody, to more people in the form of a chatbot? And that's where it all started.
Now, a lot of us, Nikki, are still getting, we're still getting clued in how chatbots work and sort of the information and data that they use in order to be able to do what they do. And I wonder, in terms of, Coach Vici, what kind of information had to go into its development in order for it to be able to provide the kind of coaching and skills that one would go to if they were going to you, for instance, as a human life coach?
Yeah, I think maybe to take a slight step back, chatbots were those annoying things that popped up on websites if you try and get a statement from your bank or from insurance. And then ChatGPT came along. And I'm not sure if you've tried it, Bridget, but I'm sure a lot of your listeners have. It's a chatbot that appears to be very intelligent. It uses generative artificial intelligence, and it actually feels like you're speaking to a human. So I started out 5 years ago creating Coach Vici using models and theories of coaching, such as goal setting and reflective practice. All the theories and models that a good coach should use in their practice. And I programmed this into Coach Vici, and it was really good at the time. But what happened end of last year and beginning of this year, when ChatGPT became available, we realized we were sitting on an amazing opportunity to make Coach Vici more human-like or more intelligent. So basically, to answer your question, it's a combination of coaching models and frameworks that through research we've shown to work, and then incorporating aspects of ChatGPT into the conversation, so it really sounds like an intelligent agent speaking to you.
Now, when you bring up the human element, I then wonder, because I don't know, I've never used the life coach before, but I would figure, having spoken to a few, that there's also the understanding of nuanced life experiences and the nuanced lived experience. And I wonder how able is a chatbot, how able is it to do that, to sort of interpret all of the little differences that come from individual to individual that may be the reason that one does or does not reach a goal?
That's a good question, yes. And when I teach my students about Coach Vici and coaching, they always look at me and say, "Why are you trying to put us out of a job? If we coming to study, we pay all this money." So just to put it into perspective, so chatbots are not yet at the level where it can completely replace human coaches for those reasons that you've just mentioned. We are very complex beings, and the ability to empathize with people is something at this stage, I think, uniquely human. But what Coach Vici and other chatbots can do is to provide some aspects of coaching, such as goal setting, which is a very structured process. And this they can do almost better than humans, because, sometimes human coaches are also not very clued up with the theory, or they might skip a beat or two. Whereas a chatbot, it's a machine, so it won't let go until you, until you talk to it, and until you've, it can help you in a very structured way. So Coach Vici does not replace human coaching, but for certain use cases, certain scenarios, definitely it can be as good as a human coach.
And in fact, I think I also read that since Coach Vici's initial launch back in 2022, you guys have continued to evolve with the new technologies and incorporate new things in order to offer that real-time support.
Indeed. So, the field of technology, and specifically artificial intelligence, is moving at a rapid speed. I haven't seen things move so fast, in my career as a technologist. So we are constantly incorporating things like, as I said, ChatGPT. So in the chatbot, and by the way, Coach Vici runs on WhatsApp. So, it's not a separate app. You literally talk to Coach Vici in WhatsApp amongst your contacts with your friends. But we've used ChatGPT to integrate that. So it's a natural conversation. And then also we're researching many different aspects of coaching. We know that goal setting now works really well in the chatbot, helping you think through a goal, breaking it down, setting actions, checking in on you. But we're also looking at things like emotional intelligence development in Gen Z, Generation Z, because they battle with that. And also resilience management for middle managers who are typically squeezed in an organization between the top bosses and the people that report to them. So we're constantly researching applications, and then if we find scientific evidence that it works, we'll bring it into Coach Vici.
Let's take a quick break here, Dr. Nikki, and then come back on the other side of this and continue our conversations. 2:20 on the Full Circle.
Ford is turning 100, and there's never been a better time to buy a brand new Ford. We're giving away 100 vouchers worth an amazing 50,000 Rand each, and the sensational grand prize of us paying for one lucky winner's Ford. It's the celebration of the century. Visit a Ford dealer, buy a new Ford, and win. T&Cs apply.
Score big with Diadora South Africa, and your soccer team could soon face your opponents in Diadora gear. Show off your love for the game and gear up for victory. Join the competition now for a chance to win a full soccer team kit, a goalkeeper kit, and accessories. All you have to do is follow at Diadora.South Africa on Instagram. Tag your team and teammates in the comment section of our posts. The competition closes on the 30th of November at 2 p.m. T's and C's apply.
Hashtag we love it here.
This great initiative is supported by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Bridget Masinga on SAfm.
It is SAfm with myself, Bridget Masinga, and we're in conversation with Dr. Nikki Terreblanche, who's the developer of Coach Vici, also a senior lecturer in leadership coaching at Stellenbosch Business School. Is Coach Vici, a chatbot that is used on an individual basis, or is it something that's now been incorporated on an organizational level? Because I think I heard you correct at the beginning when you said that it is rather an expensive technology, right? So it's not willy-nilly for me to just download with my free data minutes.
It's actually not that expensive, Bridget, but we decided as a business model to focus on organizations. So at this stage, we're not making it available to the general public. And the thinking is that we actually want organizations to harness the power of coaching to help steer and direct their teams and their departments. So the way Coach Vici works is you would subscribe your organization to it. We would then put your employees in terms of their teams, and we would assign different objectives for each team. So let's say the broadcasting team would have an objective of playing more music on the air. Sorry, I'm making this up now as I go along. Then that team would have to set an individual goal. Each person in the team would set an individual goal relative to the objective for the entire team. And that way we can drive behavior, and we'll also report on it so you can then see how many people are working on which goals and what is the progression. So that's why for this stage we're focusing on organizations and not yet for the general public.
And what is the feedback from those who've sort of incorporated Coach Vici into their organizational systems?
Very exciting feedback we've received so far. You know, the problem, as we said before, is human coaching, executive coaching is quite expensive and normally only reserved for the top few in the company. But now with Coach Vici, because it's so affordable, literally everyone in the organization can have access to it. And the feedback, some of it is quite interesting, especially for more junior people. They feel cared for by the organization. They feel that they be giving a resource to help them think through their problems and set goals. And very interestingly, some people even report that they feel psychologically safer talking to Coach Vici than to a human coach because of the judgment that people have. I heard you say earlier before our talk about bias, right? Human bias. None of us are free of bias. And of course, the chatbot it doesn't have that human element. So some people feel more psychologically safe sharing their thoughts with a chatbot than with a human coach.
Very interesting indeed. And you say that, coaching is not about giving answers. It's about a support mechanism. And I guess that's where a chatbot probably excels at times.
Exactly. So what you find with Coach Vici, it will ask you lots of questions about what's on your mind. And initially people get a bit frustrated because they say, give me the answer. But the expression of teach someone how to fish instead of giving them a fish. And even though it can be frustrating, a good coach, even a human coach, would keep asking questions, playing back to you what they've heard so that you can come to your own insights rather than giving advice that might not be relevant. So that's the approach we've taken with Coach Vici as well.
Here's the other interesting thing, Dr. Nikki. Coach Vici can almost be customized for every organization and every company.
Yes, indeed, because we realize that different sectors and different companies in different levels of maturity have different needs. So, you can, as I said before, set specific objectives for different teams and departments and then ask people to work towards that. And you can also customize Coach Vici to put your company's logo and specific messaging and links to other resources. So Coach Vici becomes sort of the one-stop on WhatsApp friend that you have into the organizational, the HR system and support. So in that sense, we customize it per organization.
Very interesting where we are moving with technology. And I wonder if you're listening to our conversation, would you feel comfortable using Coach Vici for all the reasons that Dr. Nikki has outlined, or do you still want the personal element of being able to, go to somebody and have like a eyeball to eyeball conversation? But this is definitely, I would think from all the conversations, this kind of innovative technology is not going anywhere. This is something that is now going to be incorporated in all of our day-to-day practices.
Absolutely. I can't agree with you more. And I think a lot of it has to do with OpenAI and ChatGPT and generative AI, because the technology is becoming better and better. And, just imagine, I travel a lot and I speak a lot overseas, and, in continents such as Africa and South Africa, there are a lot of people who would never be able to have the financial means to speak to a life coach, even in the organizational context. So our aim is also to make Coach Vici available to NGOs and non-profit organizations. We did an initial pilot study with unemployed youth in South Africa to also see if a chatbot that can help them set goals can perhaps help alleviate this terrible crisis we have in youth unemployment. So I really see it as a wider application as well to help people that otherwise would not be able to do the eyeball, as you say, with a real human coach.
I wonder how it's going to assist me with my procrastination. We live to find out on a different day. Dr. Nikki, thank you so much for the conversation today. That was Dr. Nikki Terreblanche, developer of Coach Vici, and of course the senior lecturer in leadership coaching out at Stellenbosch Business School. Lots of interesting things coming up from the universities. I think the more we build this show and have conversations, the more we realize how innovative the thinking is on campuses, whether it's incorporating chatbots into your organization in order to help yourself and your staff reach those personal and professional goals. We've also seen some interesting things coming up, some interesting technology being incorporated at UCT. We were talking to them last week and I think the week before as well about some of the technology that they are incorporating when it comes to the fight around GBV. So we are in interesting times indeed as South Africa. Interesting times indeed. It's fast approaching 2:30, and of course the headline news is coming up at the bottom of the hour, and then on the other side of that we are going to come back and check to the guys from Pagama, which is an initiative that's aimed at empowering township businesses in the metals industry. Very far removed from any world that I know, but we'll find out more from them about that. And then, of course, we're going to wrap up the show a little bit earlier with our final point of conversation. It is Youth Entrepreneurship Week. The Youth Entrepreneurship Week Expo is here. We'll find out more about the expo and the opportunities that lie there, particularly for young people. Hope you went out to register to vote this past weekend if you weren't registered as yet. The first of the IEC's voter drives were held over Saturday and Sunday, seeing over 1 million new registered voters going out to register to vote. And a lot of, I watched a lot of the news dipped in and out throughout the course of the weekend, and a lot of the stakeholders by way of political parties, NGOs, civil organizations, a lot of people were saying that even though there was physical trickling numbers at the voting stations that were being covered, a lot of people pegging their hope on the IEC's online registration portal, which I used personally to check my voter registration status. That's what I use these voter registration drive weekends for, is to check my status, to check that everything is in order. The only gripe I had was that their call center was non-operational beyond 5, which I thought was, sort of non-productive. If people have questions and last-minute questions, I would have wanted the call center to be open beyond the hours of 8 till 5. Maybe push it a little bit to like 7-8 o'clock p.m. at night, because a lot of people tend to do things after they come back from work. So that was up for consideration if the IEC is listening. It's just gone 2:30. It's time for us to catch up with the headline news.
Thank you, Bridget. In your headlines, Action SA in the city of Johannesburg has implored the newly elected Joburg Council Speaker Margaret Arnolds to be impartial. Arnolds, who's from the African Independent Congress, was elected unopposed during an extraordinary council sitting earlier today. The chairperson of Transnet, Sandile Sangu, has blamed the outdated technology as well as a lack of resources and maintenance for the problems at the Durban port. He says clearing the backlog at the port will require considerable time. And sentencing procedures in the trial of 4 men convicted of the murder of the Northwest businessman Wandile Pozwana have been adjourned until tomorrow in the High Court in Pretoria. The aim of the postponement is to allow Pozwana's brother to testify. I'll have details on these and other stories at 3.
Beyond the headline on SAfm.
Have you noted any change in how the faith-based organizations are responding to this particular question?
Absolutely. In our faith communities, in our churches, in our temples, in our synagogues, we have both the perpetrators and the victims. And often, as faith leaders, we have to admit and acknowledge that we have been part of the problem. We've created even further harm. Confessing that and saying, you know what, we failed. We haven't done enough. And what can we do differently? We want to be making sure that we are challenging these harmful religious norms.
Marisha Singh Naika is the director of the Indie Africa and Heartlines Associate. She is also a therapist as well as a pastor.
Beyond the headline with Aldrin Sampear. Weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. SAfm. Prime time all day long. SAfm has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that is not harmful, does not amount to hate speech, or contain violence or explicit sex. If you think we are not living up to that code, then you can inform the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Direct any complaints in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. PO Box 142365. Craig Hall 2024. Fax to 011-326-3198 or an email to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more information, please visit www.bccsa.co.za. Bridget Masinga on SAfm.
It is the Full Circle on SAfm with myself, Bridget Masinga. By the way, Aldrin Sampear is off in Mapungubwe this afternoon. That's where he's broadcasting from. He's been off safaring this entire year, living his best life. Love it for him. Zolile Msimang joins me now, Head of Corporate Affairs at Pagama Holdings, which is an initiative empowered by Alfico Holdings. And they're proud to announce their commitment to empowering and supporting township businesses in the metals industry. How are you doing?
I'm good, Bridget. Thank you for having me.
It's only a pleasure. Thank you for coming through. Okay, give us some background, some understanding on Pagama and this initiative.
Yes. So Pagama SA is an initiative by Alfico Holdings. Alfico Holdings is a group of companies within the steel and metal industry. We have plants in the Gauteng area, and we manufacture in steel and metals. We've been operational since 2013, when we have over 2,000 employees.
Okay.
And Alfico has consistently given back to the community, and this just happens to be one initiative in which we've identified that the township economy is growing and we would like to grow with it. And this is the reason we are here. We position ourselves as the gatekeepers in this industry, and if we are going to be those people, we need to open the gates and make sure that the township entrepreneur in this very niche industry has access as well.
I must say, when you use the term gatekeeper, I was like, okay, I hope in a positive way.
Exactly.
I hope it means we are opening up the industry.
Exactly.
It is a very niche industry because I know nothing about the metals industry.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
However, in the township, everybody knows the entrepreneur who's making the gates.
Yes.
The boiler maker, the burglar guard maker. We know these people, right? And they are using these products. And so as Alfico, we identified that gap and we said, hey, we can come in and actually position ourselves in such a way that we can assist these entrepreneurs. Whether you are growing from 2 employees, maybe you are the only employee employee using steel and metal, we can grow with you. And we do know these entrepreneurs need assistance. And business, you need assistance from an access to finance point of view. You need assistance in marketing. And we're in a position where we can go through a journey with township entrepreneurs and grow this industry because it's already there.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. I mean, when you talk about, Dada John from down the road who does the gates, then I absolutely have a picture in mind, which then tells me that size is not a matter for this initiative.
Absolutely not. And for us, we have thought that success for us is impact. And the township entrepreneur is in a different space. So somebody is their own employee. Sometimes you've got 2, sometimes you've got 20. So we will grow with you. Our success matrix is where you want to grow as an entrepreneur. And we are going through this journey together. And therefore, size does not matter. We are actually calling out every entrepreneur in every space to actually join in with us because we do not have a certain type of entrepreneur we're looking for. We're looking for you if you are currently within this industry and you're working in it. And even if you're not that formalized, let's formalize with you. Okay. And we can grow from there.
So tell me this, Zolile, in terms of you want entrepreneurs that are in the township, black males, black females, or people of color, that are in the township.
Absolutely.
What sort of specific, I guess, challenges and hurdles have been brought to your guys' attention by these small scale entrepreneurs who are in this business to say, listen, these are the things that really derail our progress or stunt our growth or really just, lock us out of harnessing further opportunity.
Exactly. So one of the things we've noticed is supply chain access. So we are a manufacturer. We are able to get you what you need to work with. And also storage is an issue that we realize for the township entrepreneurs. Sometimes you're working from the background of your house. That could be a potential hurdle for you. And then there's the normal business hurdles, which are access to finance, which we can assist in to getting you ready to access finance. From a marketing point of view, like as you know, sometimes you know Dada John down the road, but the next section and the other townships need to know about him as well. And so we know how important marketing is for any business. There's a mentorship and collaboration, which is something that is a huge issue for township entrepreneurs because you don't know who else does what you do most of the time. And we are in a position to get the entrepreneur with the right mentorship, with the right collaborations that is specific for their business in which they can grow. And that's why we've kind of created this program around those pillars as well. Business development is a big one, especially when it comes to formalizing a township business so that it can operate and grow. Who knows? Your township is not the only township out there, and really the world is your oyster. The whole country is your oyster. So let's grow from that perspective, and we can offer that through these pillars of mentorship, of access to supply chain as well.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think, one of the things you bring up there is just formalizing a business, because I find sometimes, and in my world, dealing with creatives and creators and artists, etc., it's the little administrative stuff that often hampers you from being able to respond to that thing or apply for that thing, because the paperwork is just not in order.
Exactly. And for us with the Pagama, we're actually saying, get in contact with us, and you will see when you go to our website, the first thing we ask for is your name, your surname, and just a few details. One of the reasons for that was because we do not want to scare anybody away from a paperwork point of view. As long as you're a South African citizen, you are registered, come to us, and we can then take you from that point on moving forward. And that's just simple business development, which we have done for ourselves, and we can now give you the skills to do for yourself. As well.
And when you bring up marketing, and I think about, we talk about, township economies, but we forget that it's also a very concentrated, focused market.
Exactly.
So if you get it right, you could make a success for yourself within.
Absolutely.
I mean, how many people does Soweto have?
Exactly. Can you imagine,
Yeah.
right? And if you know and you have access to all of these people, and you know that if I can find them with Phagama, you can, one, from a client point of view, people can access us and we can put them in place with the right entrepreneurs, depending on which township you are in. So we can essentially are in a position to, from a client point of view, we can assist them get in touch with the right people within their townships as well. And we also here for the entrepreneur. That is, I think, that connection, which is a marketing point connection, is significant. And as well, marketing tends to be a cost center for any business, right?
Yeah.
And so we have to be creative regarding how we get that done. But however, word of mouth is great in the township. It works very well. But now let's elevate you, because you are probably operating from a word of mouth point of view. Yeah.
Are we going beyond in terms of the initiative's reach? How many of the 9 provincial corners are we trying to get here?
We actually want to get to every single part of the country. We are, however, starting in Gauteng. We realize that if we can focus here for now, we can then expand to the other 9 provinces.
Yeah.
However, we ask everybody to join at this point, and then we can grow to the other 9 provinces in the country. We actually are fundamentally interested in making sure that we harness this group of people, right? As you said, it is niche. And if it's niche, then let's get together and let the entrepreneurs meet other entrepreneurs as well. That's a collaboration aspect of it. And we can all grow from there.
And I guess it also allows you space to sort of iron out any kinks within the program.
Absolutely.
And then also gauge to see the data that you get, the needs in the various provinces.
Exactly. And we can have our proof of concept, right?
Yeah.
If we are successful here in Gauteng, which we have no doubt we will be, these first group of entrepreneurs have the potential to actually be mentors in the future for other parts of the country as well. So that is where we are growing.
So how long is the program, the initiative? Like, I sign up and, go through all of that.
Yes.
And then how long am I in this system?
So you sign up with us. We start from day one. You will be a part of the Phagama SA initiative for a period of 36 months.
Oh, okay. So that's nice and lengthy.
It is, right? Because it needs to be. It's quite a lengthy road that we are taking together and journey we are taking together. However, the 36 months, we're not going to say goodbye. We are actually in this together as well. We see the potential within your business, and we will grow with you as well. And hence, in the future as well, you can be a potential mentor to other businesses and perhaps even grow beyond Phagama and be a formidable player in this industry yourself. So it's within the entrepreneur to be ambitious enough to go out there, and that we are positioning ourselves in such a way that we can show you the potential within this particular industry as well.
Yeah. And I think I like the 36 months because businesses go through ups and downs and turmoils. And so when you've got a team of mentors and people that are just walking with you for such a prolonged period, they also see you through different phases and they're able to be responsive with you at different phases.
Exactly. I think for us, we define success as impact, and impact is long term, right? It is impact on whether you as an entrepreneur grow, your employees are growing, but really the impact you have for your community as well. So we will not leave those aspects out of it. And we need the time to ensure that it's significant and powerful for you as an entrepreneur as well as your community.
Now, as we wrap it up, tell me, in terms of females in this industry, do we have a lot of female representation in this world?
Look, we have met a few. However, it does seem like it when you think of one, you sit there and you're like, who can I think of top of mind? Females are operating in this industry, but we are specifically putting out a call to them as well. We need that network, and we also need to invite them in the space. And with Phagama SA, we've said we do have a focus for female entrepreneurs, and we'd like them to join as well. And this is a collaborative space, but equality is essential. And the female voice in any industry significant and important. So we are calling on the females, girl power, to come and join us as well and learn from this industry.
Lovely stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have to be in overalls, ladies. We can still keep it cute.
However you want to do it.
And be in the metals industry.
Absolutely.
So for anybody, as we wrap it up, for anybody that is interested in this, is there a website that we can go to?
There is. Please go to www.phagamasa1word.com.
Lovely.
Yes.
PhagamaSA.com is where you go. Xolile Msimang, thank you so much for the time this afternoon. Let's take a quick pause here and then we come back and we wrap up the show by looking at Youth Entrepreneurship Week.
Get ready for an adventure of a lifetime with SABC TV Licenses Ultimate Competition. Feel the pulse-pounding excitement of a Bundesliga match live on an all-expenses-paid journey you'll never forget. Or embrace the rhythm of your dreams at the Coachella Music Festival. The choice is yours. A football fan's paradise or a music lover's haven. Simply pay your TV license, then head to www.winaholidaywithsabctvlicenses.co.za for a chance to win big. And don't forget, there are incredible weekly prizes up for grabs too. TV licenses. Pay yours. Make a difference.
November. It even starts with the word no. No reasonably priced holidays, no tickets to that thing your kids want to go to, nowhere without queues, and no flights anywhere worth going to. It's November. So, we are charging no fees for 6 months when you sign up for a 10x retirement product in November. No fees, no drama, just results. Speak to a retirement expert today. 10x your future. 10x is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
Nottingham Forest welcome their visitors, Brighton and Hove Albion, with warm hands, but insist the valuable 3 points will remain at City Ground.
And beats it first time, it's a brilliant goal! Elanga hits it.
However, the Seagulls are not willing to part ways with maximum points, as they prefer a position in the top half.
The dinger is in, what a run, what a goal!
This is the Premier League. Catch the glittering clash between Nottingham Forest and Brighton and Hove Albion on Saturday, 25 November at 4 p.m. live on S3. Also available on SABC Plus and SABCSport.com. Hashtag we love it here. Brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
You are listening to The Full Circle.
We are wrapping it up by taking a look at the Youth Entrepreneurship Week Expo, and we are going to be catching up with Rusuna Maluleke, who is the Chief Entrepreneurship Officer with the Young African Entrepreneurs Institute. How are you doing, Rusuna?
I'm good, and how are you, Bridget? And greetings to your listeners at home.
We are great. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for the time. All right, let's get straight into it. So the expo is happening in Johannesburg, being hosted at WITS, and you're calling on all young entrepreneurs to come and attend.
Yes, no, definitely. We have an upcoming Youth Entrepreneurship Week, which is the 2023 Yay Times Up Youth Entrepreneurship Week, taking place at Wits University, with the jam-packed program, looking at the youth entrepreneurship skills, moving on to the Youth Innovation Challenge, and also looking at the Opportunities Cafe, as well as the Market Day, the Proudly African Youth Market Day. So, we are looking forward to having young people participating in this program this week at Wits University from the 22nd to the 24th of November. Here in Johannesburg from 9 in the morning every day up until 4 in the afternoon.
Now, Rusuna, there's often the conversation around, we need to create an environment and a landscape for youth entrepreneurs to thrive, to be able to harness opportunities. So in as far as the program, what thematics is the program going to be looking into to help facilitate that kind of thinking?
Yes, so as the Young African Entrepreneurs Institute, Bridget, we take an ecosystem-driven approach to youth entrepreneurship development, which means that we'll then be having different stakeholders that are going to be participating. For banking, as I've mentioned, that ABSA is one of our key partners for this. And then we're looking at also access to market, where the likes of Proudly South Africa then will be participating, And also from a skills perspective, you have the likes of WNRC and other facilitators that are going to come on board. What does then this mean? It means that we want to be able to create that practical environment whereby we move from a classroom, that is the know-how part, where you get to teach young people what does it mean, to bank, for example. What does it mean, to have access to market, to manage e-commerce platforms and so on. And immediately after that kind of a setup, if a young person, for example, says that I do not have a bank account, then we are able to direct them to a stand where ABSA will be to say that there is an emerging, entrepreneur's product that you can be able to get access to, and so on, to run your business. And then if it's fails, then they're able to say that, how do we onboard you, into opportunities, with our different partners and all those kind of things. So that is just like what we are trying to do in creating an enabling environment. It's making it more practical because we don't want to preach it. We want to be able to do it with the young entrepreneurs, empowering them so that even if in our absence they're able to run with these things, but the Young African Entrepreneurs Institute then remains the central place where young people can be able to engage on youth entrepreneurship development support, and we're able to direct them to whichever form of intervention that is going to help them.
Let's talk a little bit about is it the Proudly African Youth-owned enterprise pitch session? It's a mouthful, but it sounds like it's an interesting space.
Yes. No, it is an interesting space. We have the Youth Innovation Challenge, that's coming up. So what we're trying to do, Bridget, is to say, how do we then start harnessing, innovation, that is Afrocentric, and ensure that young people in the context, of South Africa, of Africa, are able to come up with innovations, and they're supported to develop those innovations into now, ventures that drive measurable, socioeconomic impact, solving issues of energy, solving issues, that are social, issues and all that. So we are looking at those kinds of innovations to say that let us give the young people an opportunity, as I was speaking about the emerging entrepreneurs. We have a heart for emerging entrepreneurs. So no one is really focusing on those that are starting from the scratch, on those that are in the early stages of starting their businesses. But at the moment, we have found partners, that are saying that we are keen on doing this thing with you as the Young African Entrepreneurs Institute by availing, some of the products and tailor-making the products, to suit these young entrepreneurs. So they get to pitch, and then they get prizes, and then they also get to have open accounts that are going to be free in terms of, bank charges for the first 6 months, as I've spoken about the other emerging, entrepreneurs product. So this is what we're basically doing as far as that is concerned, and we'll incubate them for about 12 months.
All right, and then is there a possibility there? Because for those of us who watch television, it's giving me Dragon's Den type vibes. Is there a possibility there then of walking away perhaps with a long-term funder, somebody to even maybe help you jumpstart or scale off your idea?
Yes, there is that possibility there. We have partnered, as I'm saying, like our partners are actually committed to this work that we are doing. They will be coming with prizes, from up as I've mentioned. And also some of the prizes will include up to 50,000 rand worth of, support from an advisory perspective, among other things. So there are quite a number of prizes that we're actually bringing together to say that if you have something like, SEDA now is coming on board, for example, to partner with us on this, and then how do we then ensure that they get some of the grants that SEDA has and all that. So we're tailoring this product, and our entrepreneurs are going to be able to get as much support as they can from both the Young African Entrepreneurs Institute and our partners.
I can also imagine, Risuna, that a festival like this also allows for an exchange of ideas from peer to peer. You might walk into the space having an idea and then be able to identify or be connected with another peer that has a particular skill set that you require in order to bring that idea into fruition, or in order to move that idea into a different space.
Yes, of course. And we take, the collaborative approach, to development, which means that the reason we are creating this platform geared towards enabling youth entrepreneurship, it is to say we have 4 key objectives. If I should take you through them, Bridget, just like in a second. 1, we are looking at entrepreneurship education. 2, we are looking at creating an environment for networking, for young people to then come up, with synergies, for them to work on their solutions, but also to create somewhat, a value chain whereby it might not be that you're going to do the business together in terms of partnering to start one venture, but you can look at even saying that I am the one who maybe can supply you, with one component of whatever innovation that you're bringing together. So young people need to know who is doing what and how do we actually start working together to ensure that we create our own value chain and we're able, to collaborate and share opportunities amongst, ourselves and all that. So this is just like, that particular platform. And finally, we then look at, the element of, the market, where we're just like saying, how do we expose these young people to, access to markets where different buyers then can also come, into this particular, week, particularly on the Friday where this market is going to be happening. And they're able to then ask the young people, what are you selling? How can we put you on our shelves, and all those things. So it's going to be like, jam-packed, as I've said, that looking at how do we move from just like saying things into the practical aspect of things through our objectives.
Yeah. Rasuna, thank you so much for the very detailed overview for the Youth Entrepreneurship Week Expo. It is happening out at WITS. It's being hosted at WITS. And if you're a young entrepreneur, you are definitely invited to come through for this 22nd to the 24th of November, being powered there by some incredible, stakeholders, including the likes of APSA, to make sure that young people are given the opportunity to take their great innovative ideas into the marketplace. That is how we close it up today from myself and my team. We thank you so much for choosing to be in conversation with us. He is standing by, probably seated somewhere with an incredible view and just like basking in the sun and the glory of it all. Aldrin St. Pierre is coming to you this afternoon from Safari, and he calls it work. We will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Have a great afternoon further. Inshallah, God willing, we get to do it again.
Catch the Insider SA this Monday evening at 6 as hip-hop star Kiddo CSA taps into the spirit of Africa.
So it's so inspirational.
Tenor Luvo Maranti and Lady Linda Davies join forces
to help young talents to be seen in the world.
And lending his bark to the campaign against bullying, canine celebrity Mr. Miyagi is a ferocious force for good. That's the Insider SA, Monday at 6. Repeat Saturday at 12 p.m. and Sunday morning at 10:30 on S3.
Ford is turning 100 and there's never been a better time to buy a brand new Ford. We're giving away 100 vouchers worth an amazing 50,000 Rand each and the sensational grand prize of us paying for one lucky winner's Ford. It's the celebration of the century. Visit a Ford dealer, buy a new Ford and win. T&Cs apply.
Nothing beats the exhilarating atmosphere of Joburg's hottest horse race. This is the People's Race. It's not just sport, it's a lifestyle with a great sense of fashion and a jubilant scene to party and celebrate. Experience the Summer Cup on Saturday, 25 November at 3:50 p.m. live on S3. Also available on SABC Plus and SABCSport.com. Brought to you by SABC Sport. For the love of the game.
SAfm invites you to our inaugural public lecture, delivered by the former Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng. The theme of the lecture is constitutionalism and upholding the rule of law in South Africa. Has corruption and malfeasance eroded the moral fabric of the democratic dispensation? The lecture will take place on the 29th of November 2023 at the SABC M1 Studios in Johannesburg. Secure your seat by emailing us at info@safm.co.za. SAfm, leading the conversation.